Can XRP hit 4 digits? That's been a question that we've heard on X, we've heard it on YouTube, and it's one of the looming conversations because with the run that Bitcoin's been on, as we've hit all-time highs, 123,000, I'll show you guys kind of what's happening in the overall market here in this video, and we'll get into some commentary from a well-known XRP voice and advocate for Ripple and XRP. And as it relates to kind of what we're building here as the cross-border payments network that Ripple looks to provide, is continuing to develop and try to get that integration and adoption across the globe. Want to debunk the claim if XRP can hit 4 digits or not. Okay, so welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. If you're new here, appreciate a couple minutes of your time. We'll get you guys out of here in a couple minutes. But before you do, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us. And let's talk some crypto. Okay, so as we look for this day, kind of having some positive sentiment, right? We've had a few red days, some correction after that altcoin run that we were on. It's something where we saw Bitcoin fall to 115, and then now it seemingly looks like all systems go. We'll talk about what XRP is doing, and it's something also I want to share with you guys because next week, or this week coming, I should say, is going to be a big one. Okay. It's kind of where we are looking for the Federal Reserve potentially lowering interest rates. We'll see what happens, see what the impact it has on the global crypto world. If you want to talk about kind of the marketplace here, what's going to happen, time will tell. Okay, we'll see if Jerome Powell decides to lower and cut interest rates. XRP though, we'll talk about it. It's still been an impressive month, almost 53% up over the last 30 days. And yeah, we'll take it. We'll take XRP over $3 for now. And as we've hit basically yearly highs at $3.65 as we want to go back in time and look at it, or I should say $3.54 according to this chart. That's kind of where XRP's had its ebbs and flows, but for looking at this chart over the last year, it seemingly looks like all systems go when it relates to crypto. And I just don't think, quite frankly, the timing is good for a lot of people. It's summertime. Nobody, quite frankly, cares. You know, I respect all you guys that are watching me in this hot July month where there's plenty of stuff to do outside, but you guys are putting the work in, you're grinding. And yeah, it's just about staying up to date with the news each and every single day. So that way you can make the best possible financial decisions for yourself. Okay, so we'll get into it. Not financial advice, as always. We're going to talk about this as we look into some comments. If XRP can hit 4 digits in 2025. This is something where we look into Jake Claver and some of his mentions about this topic. I did have the privilege to listen to some of his pieces that I do think are relevant, and they do put in perspective what actually XRP can do. Okay, so let's hit that first. So guys, if you are trading crypto on an exchange and you're looking for a new exchange, you want a hot sign up bonus, this is kind of what I'm going to offer. Our BTCC is an affiliate of mine. 10% bonus on your first time deposit. If you click my link down below, it will take you to the sign up page with the promo code already applied. 40% lower trading fees, no VPN or KYC necessary. So if you are a spot or leverage trader and you're not using BTCC, I encourage you to check out the links that are down below and get signed up today after doing your due diligence and making sure it's right for you and where you're located. Okay, so let's talk about it. All right, can we actually reach that 4 digits, that $1,000 level? I think a lot of people think that's a lot of far-fetched commentary, myself included. Okay, but that's something we're going to navigate through. Jake Claver, the director at Digital Ascension Group, saying that it's possible. Okay, stating that if XRP becomes the global standard for cross-border payments and financial settlements, a price of that magnitude would not be a dream, but a requirement. Okay, and if you don't understand the tokenomics and it doesn't make sense to you from a sheer market cap perspective, you kind of just have to do a quick search on Jake Claver and listen to kind of how he puts in perspective. If you do want to see kind of how that supply and demand and the scarcity topic that does come into the equation, because that kind of allows people to understand it's XRP is worth what someone's willing to pay for it. So if you need it and there's not too much left of it, that's kind of where you could have that conversation for a $1,000 XRP price level. Okay. Now, this is not financial advice. This is kind of just theses and going down this rabbit hole, if you will. So please keep that in mind. But in that recent interview, Claver explains that for XRP to manage the global liquidity demands, it must be valued significantly higher than where it stands today. Okay. The idea is simple. If XRP is used to move trillions of dollars across borders, it must have the price strength to do so without creating any friction or inefficiency. Okay, so as we look at it, they're looking at building a full-fledged financial ecosystem. Okay, the RLUSD comes into the equation. It is buying crypto exchanges, also a broker dealer and custody firm, partnering with SBI Holdings, R3, Santander. They're making a lot of steps that I think the normal everyday mom and pop investors on the retail side of crypto maybe doesn't understand or can't see the magnitude for what it represents at face value. Okay. Also, that's something where, after a long withstanding battle with the SEC and scrutiny that the Ripple XRP executives have been under, I should say, we just talked recently about Chris Larson selling or holding a substantial amount of XRP from a monetary standpoint. One thing I do want to say and kind of preface this all is that a Ripple executive does no benefit seeing the price of XRP go down, right? There's been a lot of people saying that, Ripple doesn't need XRP and XRP doesn't need, but XRP needs Ripple, okay? So that's kind of a little bit, hearsay, I guess would be the proper term for that. But as you look at it in terms of decentralization, a lot of people think that Ripple controls XRP, but Claver goes on to argue that the XRP ledger is far more decentralized than people realize, talking about the network of validators that does not only include Ripple, but also independent institutions such as universities, banks, and trusted entities. Even organizations such as the SEC are part of the broader validator discussion, okay? So long-term perspective, decentralization within Ripple, XRP, that's something that would bode to be bullish moving forward, okay? So according to him, looking ahead to 2026, we'll conclude with this final vision, right? With licensing, global partnerships, and growing utility, XRP could step into the spotlight as being a true bridge asset connecting the global financial system, okay? So that's basically the comments. Now, to put it all in perspective, I am going to pull up CoinMarketCap so you guys can see what I'm dealing with. As we look at XRP right now at a $190 billion market cap, trading at $3.21, okay? So we'll do some quick math. It's not going to be perfect, but we'll talk a 300x from here would roughly put XRP a touch below where we would be at to be trading around a little bit under. It'd be probably about 963 at this current level as we talk about it, okay? So that's a tick below 4 digits. So just for the sake of argument, that would represent a 300x. Now at a market cap at $190 billion, just do 190 roughly times 300, and you're going to be talking about a pretty crazy number when you put it in comparison and you look at kind of, okay, well, that's where XRP would be at. And then you see Bitcoin sitting at a $2.3 trillion level. It doesn't vibe. It doesn't make sense. Okay. So that's the only negative thing, is just kind of putting into perspective. When you actually crunch the numbers, it doesn't really kind of jump out off the page at you saying, okay, XRP is going to be a $100 trillion asset, right? That just doesn't sit well with me. Okay. And that's easy to say, but it's something where you talk about the liquidity of XRP and you talk about if they were to replace just fractionally the Swift banking system, that implication and just kind of what that stands for, I just think that those numbers don't compute for a reason, because what we're talking about is basically revolutionizing the entire financial landscape, okay? And that's something where I don't think tokenomics and sheer numbers can really just put a fair representation on what the XRP price can be. So to put it simple, I think we leave out the calculators with this one. If you're bullish on XRP, be bullish on XRP, okay? And I think that's something where you talk about kind of the numbers and what makes sense. Nothing makes sense. And if you have that dream and that belief that Ripple will take XRP, it will be adopted, it will be implemented across the globe, then yeah, that's a different conversation to have. And I don't think it's fair to just say, okay, that would represent a 300 plus X from where we're at right here, right now to hit 4 digits. Okay. So yeah, it sounds crazy. I'm human. I've been doing this a long time. I understand the concerns, but it's something where there's no other crypto right now in the space trying to do what XRP is trying to do. So you kind of have to take it for what it's worth and, just trust the process. And I can tell you one thing, if Ripple takes XRP where it's going going to or where they want to go to, XRP will not be a $3 crypto for the intermediate to short time that I will be involved within XRP. So that's kind of my thoughts on the matter. All right. So I do appreciate you guys tuning in for a couple minutes. If you haven't done so by now, hit that like button. Please subscribe down below. Also be sure to give me a follow on X. And we did talk about BTCC. If you want to start trading on that exchange, the link will be down below in the description. I thank you guys again, and we'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.